Buckle in, buttercups, because in this episode I'm going to be talking to you guys about what retro games and current and Western games that have been keeping me entertained off stream, off camera, and just in the comfort of my own lady lounge game room. Let's go. I'm going to cheat a little bit here and tell you one game that I have been streaming, because not everybody that watches these episodes watches my streams. I stream here on YouTube and we are over halfway through Tomb Raider on the PlayStation 1. That's right guys, the classic 1996 release. Lara Croft originally released on Saturn before it came to PS1 and changed so much for us back then. Female protagonist, really engrossing gameplay, some really nice cutscenes, and it was just a remarkable time back in the mid-90s, and I was a part of it, and I still am today because I really do love the new Tomb Raider games as well. But Tomb Raider has a special place in my heart. I've met all of the developers. I've got a signed copy. It is up there. It is right there. A double cased signed copy by all the devs. Like, core design is close to my gaming heart. Now, as we've been playing through, I've been familiar with a lot of the levels, but I kind of didn't realise that I'd forgotten most of them until you actually get to that part in the level, and then you kind of recognise the aesthetic and you think, oh yeah, I remember this too, and I remember this and this corner and blah blah blah. But I'd totally forgotten where keys were, where doors were, what puzzles were kind of going on. So fortunately, a lot of you guys have been helping me on the streams, and it's been so much fun. And I have been asked, what's next? So we're going to be doing Tomb Raider 2 on the PS1 and Tomb Raider 3 and possibly Chronicles. So if you're into your streams, Friday, Saturday, Sunday night, stream here. At the minute, we are hammering retro. So Tomb Raider is the first game I just got to bring to the table. The other night, I dived into Loaded on the PS1 as well. It is an awesome, underrated top-down shooter, and you go through the kind of different chambers, different areas, different levels, collecting key cards, trying to just basically get from A to B, but the levels get bigger and bigger and more complicated, and it's a ton of fun with an absolutely monumental soundtrack to kind of go with the edgy, fast gameplay. There are different characters that I always used to be drawn to when I was little. I used to like cycle through these characters, like, you know, on the D-pad and be like reading all the little kind of statistics and stuff like that. A little bit like on Street Fighter when you can kind of read like Ryu's birthday, weight, height, etc. And, you know, absolutely loved the intricacies back then. So Loaded for me just added that extra little bit of glamour, I think. And I still like it today. Like, absolutely love it. And a lot of people, every time I speak about this, a lot of people that watch the episodes, that watch the show, say, I've never tried that, or I've heard of it, but I've never actually got round to buying it. What are you waiting for? You need to go for a copy of Loaded. There was also a follow-up as well called Reloaded, but I much prefer the first game that came out because that's the game that paved the way. And I always go back to it every now and again. I dip into it on the PS1 and I just love it. It always feels new, and I've been playing it this week, and it's like, for me, when I play my retro games, I'm literally transporting myself back in time to the good old days with me and my friends Matt, Damien, Paul, my brother Scott, you know, really, really enjoying stuff. And Loaded was the one, again, I'm sure Gaz and Damien had it. They were brothers and they had a copy of Loaded. And I used to kind of get introduced to a lot of new games back then. So yeah, good times, really enjoy it. Loaded, been playing that bad boy. Might even do a little stream of it. Let me know in the comment section below if you want to see a little bit of Loaded gameplay on stream. So I have Game Pass and I have been playing my Series S, and a game from 2014 has been taking a lot of my time on the Xbox Series S. The scariest game ever, Alien Isolation. Played it on all the consoles that it was released on: PS3, PS4, Xbox. And this is my first kind of true devotion Xbox Series S game. It's not optimized at all, so you are literally kind of looking at 2014 graphics, but again, I'm going through it and I've got further through it now than I've got on any other console. So I'll probably go for completion on the Xbox Series S. It's keeping me entertained in the very little free time that I have but I'm thoroughly enjoying it, and it's so horrifying. And even though I've played such a large chunk of the game, I'm still getting jump scares on this playthrough. Like, you know, sometimes you kind of know what's coming, so it's not too bad, but it's like there's this horrendous part that it frightens the life out of me. These kind of rubber looking mannequin, like horrible animatronic, like freaking robots, and they're so scary. And when you're trying to kind of navigate out of this one particular area, if you run and you run through one of the vents that are on the ceiling, always the xenomorph is there for you. The xenomorph kills you. So the secret is you gotta run, and you've not gotta run, you've got to crawl. Do that kind of little crouching down, slow movement through the corridors, making as little noise as possible so that xenomorph doesn't grab your arse, because every time it has, in this playthrough last week especially, I think I had a good 3 hours on it one night. Ooh, that area wrecks me, mate. But when I dive back into it again this week, I've got further than I've ever got. So now I'm in new territory and we're going for completion, and it's going to be awesome. Alien Isolation, I want a follow-up. Sega, Creative Assembly, I think I want a follow-up more than I want a follow-up to Half-Life 3. I would rather have an Alien Isolation, this is controversial, I would rather have an Alien Isolation sequel than a Half-Life 3 sequel at this stage. Also on the Xbox, my friend Merlin, if you're watching the video, Merlin, shout out to you. He brought a game to my attention called Kingdom Come Deliverance, and I think I paid $13.99 for it on the Xbox store, and you get all the DLCs. Now, it's very slow in parts. The kind of gameplay reminds me aesthetically like Oblivion, even down to the kind of compass on the top of your hood reminds me so much of what it looked like on Oblivion. Even the graphics are a little bit bitty and a little bit rough around the edges, just like Oblivion was. So I've been really getting into that. Now, it is a role-playing game essentially, but it doesn't focus so much on combat. It focuses more on story and character interaction. So at the minute, I've kind of got onto this like second town. I don't want to spoil it, but something happens in your hometown as you're kind of playing through the tutorial and the prologue, and then you're forced out of that town to a different part of the world, of the map, if you would. And you meet new characters, new quests open up, new side quests have opened up for me. It is very buggy, I will say that, but I'm actually really enjoying it. And what it's been doing for me is it's been allowing me just to step back from the franticness of, say, like Alien Isolation, or, you know, the anticipation and adrenaline of being on a stream, and just having a game that's just very chilled out. You know, it's really kind of chilled. You can even dive into the menu. It reminds me of Oblivion. You're kind of cycling through L1, R1, RB, RT, sorry, cycling through all the different things at the top, the different tabs. And I'm like, dude, this is how I felt in 2007 when I was playing Oblivion on the PS3, and I just, it was good. It was good. I mean, like I said, Oblivion is way more combat focused, weapons, magic, this, that, and the other. This is just classic sword and shield job. There's no magic, there's nothing like that. There's no dragons, there's no kind of fantasy to it. It does feel kind of quite periodic. Voice acting's a bit ropey, but nonetheless, $13.99 with every single DLC. I'm having it. Oh, how I was wrong about Assassin's Creed Valhalla. Assassin's Creed Valhalla on my PS5. I've now got the PS5 patch, so I'm playing it in full next-gen glory, beauty, and just aesthetics. I haven't played it on the PS4. In fact, I haven't played it on the PS4, but before the patch came out, you had to play it on the PS5, backwards compatible, so it was like PS4 Pro kind of stuff. And when the patch finally came out, wow. So yes, it looks mighty fine, mighty juicy. And I'm actually about 10 hours in, but I've barely done any of the main quest lines because I'm so focused on wanting to go to the little islands and boost up my wealth and find the secrets and, you know, just talk to as many NPCs as possible, just because I really want to understand this game, I really want to feel this game, and I don't want to fly through it like as if I was Ezio in Assassin's Creed 2, jumping from rooftop to rooftop, kind of missing key things. I feel that this is a game, this is an Assassin's Creed for me, that it says, Gemma, you need to take your time, you need to play this game, you need to feel this game. You need to feel it. Now, I've just gotten to the part where you end up in England. So the time period's changed, the characters changed, things have changed. But obviously you start off in this very kind of Nordic, Viking, snowy land that's just, for me, full of magic and wonder. And I want to do nothing but explore, nothing but get, you know, to the next watch point to kind of open up this part of the map, you know. So I love the fact that, it wasn't what I expected. I thought we'd have another cookie cutter Origins, Odyssey Origins kind of, But I think what's done it is that kind of Viking-esque vibe. You know, we've kind of, the last 2 Assassin's Creed games have been set in beautiful exotic countries. Now we're absolutely freezing our behinds off, rowing a Viking ship from freaking Norway to England. Slightly different, but it's fun nonetheless, and I can't stress this enough. Don't write off Assassin's Creed Valhalla. Don't. Take my word from it, you've heard it here. Assassin's Creed Valhalla is a fine game. You need to jump on it because I'm loving it, and I didn't think I would. So they are a few of the games that have been keeping me entertained in the free time that I have, and a little bit of Tomb Raider on stream. Well, like I said, we're doing a full series. We're going to complete Tomb Raider, and then Tomb Raider 2, you bet your bottom dollar we're locking that butler in the fridge on stream. It's happening. So make sure you guys hit subscribe. Please leave a like rating, and if you're kind enough, share the stream using hashtag Team24. I mention this at the end of every video that I'm really trying to push my content, and it would really mean the world to me if you guys could push it for me, with me, collaboratively. Subscribe and stay subscribed. For now, I'll catch you in the next one. My name is Gemma. Take care. See you soon.